This is Andrew Figuccio with FiguccioStudios. I'm doing another check-in right now, seeing what's going on up to this point, getting things situated. Everything right now is set up for the beginning of the process of starting this business. Just about a week ago, I really put in the footwork to get everything going as far as making everything legal and legit. I did run into maybe a possible copyright issue. I have to talk with the company that I'm getting the LLC through. And so I got to see about the name. Well, not necessarily the name Figuccio Studios is, obviously that's unique in itself. It's tailored to my my last name. That's where it stems from. But I have like an abbreviation that I'm using, this FS Studios, which isn't the actual name of the company. It's more like just a abbreviation acronym for Figuccio Studios, FS Studios, the F Figuccio and Studios. But there also is another FS Studios. So I'm kind of like, okay, I don't want that to be like a problem as far as trademark and copyright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to speak with them. Nothing's legit yet, so it's not like, okay, that's definitely going to be the logo for it. I like that logo. I create all logos myself personally. But the Figuccio Studios, the logo that I have up in the thumbnail of the actual page, that's more or less what I'm probably going to end up going with regardless now, just so there's not any confusion. So I released the video, the music video. I did a couple days. I released two different drafts of the music video, which I did. One of them I did maybe, I want to say, over a week ago. The next one was several days later. And they were just like drafts, both of them. The first one wasn't really, I think I ended up making a complete version, but it's most likely not going to get released. I don't see the need for it to. And then I released the second one. I just released that. The second one I released the day before yesterday. And then officially, I was trying to get feedback from different people to see, okay, do they prefer this one for what reasonings? I'm trying to develop, get a audience, some type of engagement, more or less, so that I could see, get some honest feedback from from the content that I've been putting out, what people are thinking about it, how they think it could possibly improve. I know there's always something to improve on, so I'm not shy about understanding and knowing that. So I'm just gonna keep putting stuff out there, and next week I'm gonna do another video. I'm gonna do the same thing which I just did this week, which I release. I guess I'm gonna release two drafts, or maybe it might not be this. It might be the same video in just two different styles, as far as like how I do color grading, or maybe the effects that I add. It might be different. I don't know if I'll shoot the same song again. I might potentially. I don't see why not. It's just now I'm starting to balance everything that I'm doing, and I'm like, okay, I took footage yesterday. What I did, I went out and I shot a bunch of different footage for this new video that I'm going to be releasing, which is to Slick Rick. Now, this is all from the Cold Front. So I released Cold Front on the 13th of February. I believe it was February the 13th. So I released a project mixtape called Cold Front. 7-track mixtape. I call them mixtapes. I don't know if any of the projects that I released this year would be really referred to as albums. I'd say there's seven track mixtapes to where I like to break it up, and I like to kind of see some type of cohesiveness, because I feel like that's almost like a lost art in a sense, where projects don't really, have a sound to it. So I tried to like pick songs where they match with the sound of the project, the overall sound. Maybe it be the instrumentals or the direction as far as uh, how the song was created, a similar sound to it. So all three of them, I think they're all unique in their own personal ways. So I released the first one I released was God Put Me On To, and I thought about that name years ago, and that was the first project I released. It wasn't really official. This was like maybe in 2020 that I released it. Yeah, I released it before I went in for a couple years. So I released this project, God Put Me On, and it was kind of just like not really rushed, but the quality of the mixing was very poor, which is something that I did struggle with for a while, but I feel like it's getting to a point where it's a lot more improved now. Um, and the levels, as far as the vocal levels, were always just really, I never put a compressor on it, or maybe I put a compressor. I didn't really know exactly what I was doing, so I put the compressor on, on all these songs now, and that just gives a overall better like level to the song. It sounds more even, whereas the vocals aren't like, blowing through the mix like they used to. And yeah, so I released that God Put Me On, the first one, back in 2020. That was the first. Yeah, I would consider that was the first project I would say that I released at all. And I released that before I went to do a 2 year bid. It was for DUIs, a bunch of DUIs I caught, and I ended up doing like 2 years. Um, so after I got out, then I was like, all right, yeah, I'm not getting any younger, so I really got to either like I pursue this, like really pursue it, continue to pursue it, or put it down. So what I ended up doing was I got out and I started, recording right away. Like first day, I'm recording a lot of different stuff. Um, and then I ended up releasing. I got released. It was 2022. Yeah, 2022 September was when I got released, and then I released a project that year. Was called Dawn of the Dawn. The first one was Dawn of the Dawn. So it was God Put Me On, and then Dawn of the Dawn were the first two that I released. I released the God Put Me On, the first one, in 2020. Then I released Dawn of the Dawn, the first one. And that was so 2 years later, on Christmas. I released that, and then following after doing that, I just record. I've have hundreds of songs recorded, because I felt you just, you work your way to the point where you want to get to. And, artistically, I just wrote, and I wrote and wrote and wrote to the point where I was like, all right, the writing, I'm like not like a master at writing, but I've done it so much. I put so much. I'm like, maybe something got to change as far as writing goes. But during that time, when I released God Put Me On, or no, when I released Dawn of the Dawn, from when I released that Christmas 2022 up until the next year, for a year, I was releasing singles. There was a bunch of singles that I released, and all these songs are available on platforms. I released a bunch of songs. I don't know how many. And I didn't release any projects for a year. And I just recorded and recorded for a year exactly. On top of working, I was working a lot too, but I was also recording at the same time. So what I did was I record, and then I maybe a song that I really enjoy. Well, even though during that whole time I just released the songs where, songs and singles, and there was like, I just released them at the time where it was like, okay, so I'm confident, I'm gonna release it, promote it a little bit. And then I always have that goal. Okay, like when do I want to release a project? And the next project I released was called Goat. and it was an acronym that I always had the idea. I knew that this was going to be like my album name that I liked. Okay, I was like, okay, go. God orchestrates all things. So I liked that name, and I went with it. I was like, all right, now it's time to release the album because I did so much recording. I was like, all right, now I got to put something to where it's like, okay, this is an official album now because I put so much time and energy into recording. And it's strange enough, did all that recording for that year, and probably only in the month before that recording, like all the songs came together. It's just strange. Like whenever I get a project, it's like the songs. I'm like, okay, that song that could go there, that could go there, and all the other songs I recorded just went to the side. Um, yeah, let me see. Okay, so we're still live. Yeah, all the songs they went to the side, and then so I ended up. Then I released that, and that was what was it, 2023? Yeah, I released that. So up to that point, like I said, I released 2020 was when I released God Put Me On, the first one. 2 years later, after serving a sentence, I released Dawn of the Dawn 2. And then a year from there, 2023, I released what I would consider my coming out album would be GOAT, which is God Orchestrates All Things. So that was my third project. And from the time where I released, oh yeah, actually, then I released another project on New Year's that year, which was the deluxe edition of uh, of God Orchestrates All Things, which every song on there was it was a completely different album. It was like just an extra album. So there was I don't know if there was 13. I think it was 13 songs were on God Orchestrates All Things, and on the other one there was I don't know, maybe there was maybe seven, or I don't know, it could have been like 10 or 13, who knows. But there was a lot of, like I said, a lot of songs, content or songs that I released, that I had recorded, but a majority of them were recorded recently up to the release of that. So I released that, and then I didn't release anything for. Oh no, I released a couple singles then. Yeah, I released another single then, "Pave My Way," which I really liked. I enjoyed that track. That was a song that I thought I was gonna attach with like a project, but I never did. I just like it was like a standalone single, and it kind of just like, all right, just let it go, let it fly like that. And I never ended up putting. I could have put it on these two mixtapes that I dropped, but I was like, you know what, just let it be a single because that's just what it was. It was so much time in between. It just didn't really like it wouldn't have matched with any of the songs. So I'm just like, just keep it standalone. And there was, a good amount of energy and time put into the recording of that video as well. Have a good story about the recording of that video. Is a good, experience. A lot of energy put into it, I should say. But then, so then it was recently still recording that whole year. Maybe I took a little bit of a break then too, maybe for like 2 or 3 months, because a lot of the things I was doing started sounding the same, and I was like, okay, let me switch it up. Uh, so I changed, kind of like, all right, just let it sit. Sometimes you got to take a break as an artist. You can't just continue to record. Your sound's just going to get stale and repetitive. Um, so what I did just recently when I started recording these three new projects, um, I haven't been writing anything down at all. So what I do is I'll just, record off the top. And I see like more creativity through that because you have to like think more. You got to be like, okay, what am I gonna, how am I gonna do it? And that's honestly how a lot of artists these days how they record. Like I mean, maybe some people write still. I'm sure they do. I'm sure people write. There's definitely people that write. But a lot of artists when they say that they freestyle, is what they mean is they're gonna punch in. So they're gonna record like a bar, 2 bars, and then they're gonna hit record, and then they're gonna stop the recording. Okay, let me do another 2 bars, and I saw a lot more, growth from that because I was just like thinking more, and I had to remember what I had just put down so that you do it right. Because it's not, I mean, I don't know. But up to this point, I'm just still, like I said, I released all those projects. I just released those 3 projects within a 2 month period from December to February. December, January, February. Yep. Less than 2 months, actually. December to January and January to February. Yeah, 3 projects in less than 2 months. So that's just shows you my work ethic right there. I mean, I put, I putting it together is just as hard as the recording. So you recorded everything, but now I know that I got to get everything together, situated. I gotta I gotta get the album cover or the mixtape cover, and then you gotta transfer it all into like YouTube files when you set it up, and then you gotta make the videos itself. So I do all this stuff. I know how to do it for myself personally. That's why another reason why I'm starting this company, because I know that I can do it for another artist as well. I'm willing to do that. I have the experience and the knowledge to do it. I have like a whole method, a whole way, a whole process. So I understand it, and I can just do it. I could just knock it out, and not do it. Going through the whole recording process with it is makes it just that much more easier because I don't have all the time and energy going into recording and then doing it all. And but I like that though. I like giving myself like goals and deadlines so that I can complete things. But the next video that I'm gonna be releasing, I'm just doing this live just to refocus, and I want to try to get more videos out there saying like, all right, what's going on, so that for the algorithm, and people will see the video maybe and they'll be like, all right, let's see what's going on. What is he doing? And is it something that they'd be interested in? If I just like did a video, one day, and then I did a video, like a week later, and then another week, I feel like, all right, this is something you got to do every day. So I'm willing to do that, even if I'm just sitting here and, babbling to myself. It's still, to me, it's at the least, it's therapeutic. So I'm just going to, keep doing it for a while. I got time. I got the time to do it. I'm willing to do it. I'm ready to try to put in the work. Well, not try. I will put in the work. And if it's meant to be, then, it will be. Oh, so I got that video out, the BB, the campaign's running. So I call it the champagne campaign. That's something I remember there was a Gucci Man video years ago, and I forget what it was called. What the heck was it called? It was years ago. It was before he went to jail. But it was Gucci Man, and the guy was talking about the champagne campaign. So I was like, all right, we'll go with the champagne campaign. I just like the sound of it. So that's what I think about every time campaign. Oh, yeah, every time I think about campaign, champagne campaign, Gucci Man. So I got the BB. It's running the campaign. Promotions going. I'm seeing it's getting some notoriety, getting some views. I think it's up to like maybe almost 5,000 views now. So that's getting a good start. We're gonna run that, see where it goes, see the type of feedback. It just started yesterday, so 5,000 views, pretty good. I really want to get some feedback on some people, see what's what they're thinking about it. They think it's trash. Yeah, let me know. I'm still gonna I'm gonna release the content, but I need to know, all right, a starting point, what people's general perception is of the content. So now up to this point, I'm just continuing to push through, and like I said, next week, I don't know when I'm going to release the first draft. Maybe it'll be Monday. So it's going to be Slick Rick. going with Slick Rick. So from this mixtape, the Cold Front mixtape, which was released a little over a week ago, maybe 9 days ago, I released the music video for Cold Front, which Cold Front got about 9,000 views in a week. Pretty good numbers. You know, I was pleased with that. It's like, okay, we're not going to get a million views the first day. You know, I'm not out there like that, but you know, just baby steps, and I'm willing to just grow this thing steadily, because you know, good things come to those who wait. And if you get anything really fast, sometimes you know you lose it fast. So I'm willing to play the waiting game right now. So we got Cold Front music video was released maybe 2 weeks ago. Then the project Cold Front itself was released um, just 9 days ago. So we released the music video Cold Front. Then I just released BB, which is another acronym for Bloodbath. And it's more Bloodbath. What I'm referring to as Bloodbath is the stock market. Because ever since I've been recently invested in the XRP specifically, it seems like there's been a bloodbath. But there's been some ups, and I'm definitely I'm seeing a lot of optimism as far as towards XRP personally. But that's just my own personal investments. There's people that are here for Bitcoin and Ethereum and all that, but XRP was cheap enough for me to get in and to get a good amount, so I'm sitting on some of that right now. And I foresee that going up. But anyway, that's Bloodbath. That's what it's referring to, is the stock market. So the next one I'm going to release. So this is going to be the third music video released on this project. I don't know. Maybe I'll release a music video for each song. I could see myself doing that, but some of the songs I don't see a music video for. Like some of them I could imagine doing one for, and some maybe not. But there's only probably about 2 of those songs where I would see. So I could release this will be my third one, and there's 2 other ones that 2 other ones I could potentially see another music video for. But anyway, we're just gonna take it a day at a time or a week at a time, whatever it is, and I'm gonna have the Slick Rick. So it's gonna be Slick Rick. This is going to be the third music video in this series of music videos for Cold Front. And this is the first time. So this is like officially the first rollout, I would say. Rollout for the mixtape, but I'm doing the rollout after. It's like the after album rollout versus everybody does the leading up to the album. I just do it. I already released the album, and now this is promoting the album. It's out there, and I'm going to, push it and see what's up. And in the meantime, probably not yet. I want to do this music video thing first with the songs that I'm going to release. So that could be up 2-3 weeks maybe before I release another single. I don't want to like push out stuff too fast, but I actually just recorded a song last night where I hated it at first. I was like, oh man, I was like, this song kind of sucks, and it's like, you kind of think like, it's not even worth releasing, or you're like, oh, I wasted my time recording. But then I went back and I listened to it. I was like, wow, this is actually like really good. Sometimes you just, you don't really know. You trick yourself, or your mind makes you think something wasn't good. But then I went back to it. I was like, this is something right here. It was, something inspiring to me personally. My own, my own. Content, and it's good when you keep playing it back, because I remember that was the first time when I started recording. I was just like, the first song where I was like, oh, I'm actually satisfied with it. I'd played it like all night. It was like crazy. I would just play it all night, and that's kind of how I got hooked on recording. I just developed that love for it. It was like almost in the beginning. It was like it was meant to be, and that's why I don't want to stop doing it, because I remember, first starting it, and it helped me get through a lot of different things, and that's why to me it's dear, it's personal, it's a personal part of my life, and don't really want to let that go. But sometimes, maybe you have to. But that's part of the focus. Like that's just me. This is a like more of a just speaking about my own personal experience as an artist, what I went through, and so I understand. I've went through like all the phases that I needed to develop into the actual artist that I've become now. Which is, I went from Figuccio that Don. I don't know, I go like Figuccio that Don, either or. I mean, all my songs are basically in the name of Figuccio that Don, and but Figuccio, yeah, maybe just Figuccio, doesn't matter. So now, so Slick Rick is going to be the third music video in this series from the mixtape, the Cold Front series, and I'm gonna start the draft on that. I don't know if I'll start it today. Probably start it tomorrow. I could see that happening. Maybe I'll do that. Start it tomorrow. Start editing because I shot some footage yesterday. I'm gonna do that, and then yeah, I'm just gonna continue pushing through. This campaign's running. I could run for a while. I might switch up the song, throw the new Slick Rick song if I don't see this video performing the way that I think it should. Because really, I was pleased with this song BB that I released. I thought overall it's a good track. This is my personal opinion. Maybe someone has one that differs. I'm satisfied with it. It's more it's me more developed, I would say, as an artist. And I just don't see what would if I would really like to know what somebody would be like. Oh, that's whack. That's corny. But I'm like, I mean, overall, I see it as a good track. Good bridges. It's not like too repetitive. I don't know. Maybe that's what people are more interested in now. They just want the repetition and the catchiness. Which parts of the song are catchy? It still has catchiness to it. But okay, a lot of more songs are shorter, so I do go for shorter songs. That song's maybe like 2:30, which to me isn't too long, but it seems like a lot of more songs are clocking in at like 150. 150, maybe 220. And that song I just made yesterday is about, I think it was 150. Yeah, it clocked in 150, but it didn't really have, I wouldn't say, I mean, it had a hook, but it was at the end. So it was only basically the verse leading up to, it was kind of like just the build up to the hook, which the hook is, to me, is top notch right there. So that's good. And what else am I gonna? Okay, yeah. So that's really the main thing. I mean, I'm sitting here just talking and kind of just I like it because it allows me to put my thoughts out there too. Like, all right, even the bet. I mean, I win regardless. When I do this live, I'm able to just like get my thoughts straight, put everything together, and kind of like put it out there. Just speak it into. I don't really like the whole manifestation speaking things, but I do like hearing my own thoughts, which is, I've done therapy, during my lifetime. So I know that there's always something positive to glean from that. So if anything, at the least, I'm just putting my thoughts together and kind of just evaluating everything that I'm going through as far as, artistically or the development of this business, which is, very shortly going to be, yeah, everything should be put into place next week. So that's going to be the beginning of it, and we'll see where it goes. But look, the next thing you guys can look forward to if you view this video, I will be releasing another series. So I'm going to release the draft just like what I did with BB. If you look back on the FiguccioStudios profile, or no, actually I went live on this account. Figuccio.don. So I went live on this account. And then, blanking. I went live on this account. And what I did was I released first, what I would do, I'd release an initial video at the beginning of the day. So that's like my whole scheme is I release the video at the beginning of the day, kind of like letting everybody know, okay, I'm going to be releasing a video later on today, and I'm going to be going live. So that's what I started doing on Wednesday. So I released the live first, kind of just putting my plan out there. And then what I did after that is then I released the draft to the music video, the BB music video, a draft version. So one version of a portion of a snippet of the music video. I released that, and then that next day or the same day, right after, I think right when I released it, maybe I went live then to maybe get some feedback from people to see, their personal opinions, and there was some engagement. It was cool to see, some people tuning in. So good to see, glad to see. Then the next day, I did the same thing. I went live first, and then I let them know, okay, I'm going to be dropping it later on. And it was dropped a little bit later, and it was a completely different video that was taken. It was the same song, but I just did another draft, so it was draft number 2. So I did draft number 2, and then what I did was I'm pretty sure I went live. I went live on Friday, and I said that I was. Oh yeah, I I had it premiered at 12, so I put it as a premiere 12. Yeah, at like noon, I released the official music video for BB, and then I went live to get people's feedback, some interaction. And then what I do, I didn't go live again, so I just kind of let it sit, and I went live. I had it for the premiere, and I was just getting some engagement. This is when I first got the camera, so I had everything set up, and now I'm more established. I know, okay, I got this camera now. This is good, set up. And I have like a process to now releasing things, to whereas I was like, I don't know if I'm going to go live today, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just go live and like to just like build it up. You're building up that muscle, growing the muscle, and I'm getting more into, and the more I get used to it, the easier it's going to be. So that's also what this is. It's part of practice, and getting involved and able to get my thoughts, because sometimes my thoughts are just so scattered, or I'm not able to actually accurately convey it. So that's a part of it. And so you could look forward to. I'm going to do the same thing next week. I'm going to release 2 drafts of the Slick Rick music video, which the single is available. Well, the single is available on streaming services. The only streaming service I didn't see it on, I didn't see it on Amazon Music, but maybe I just couldn't find it. But I know that it's on Apple Music. I think it's under Figuccio, and it's the Cold Front. The whole mixtape is on all streaming platforms, but I don't think it was approved by Amazon Music yet. Maybe. I don't know how long. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for other platforms. But it is available on YouTube on this Figuccio Don on this account. So you can take a sneak peek. Well, not really sneak peek. It's the actual song. So the song is available. It's Slick Rick. And I'm going to be releasing 2 different music videos for it. Draft 1 and then draft 2. Do the same thing that I did this past week. I'm going to do it this week. And then I'm going to ultimately release the music video on Friday. And, the build up, hopefully at that point, we're going to get some more engagement and some more feedback, see what's going on, and we can start building the community here. I could, respond, interact with the, with subscribers or anybody that's interested in it. And then, Cold Front's out now. So you could hear you can kind of get a feel for what I am, the sound of me as an artist personally, but also the objective of this channel isn't just for me as an artist. I'm also reaching out to other artists. So if anyone has, any interest artistically, you could still collaborate even if you're not in the Pennsylvania area. I'm willing to travel to meet with artists. I can meet with them. You could send me something that you have on my email, FiguccioStudios@gmail.com. You could send me that. Uh, yeah, I got my phone number up there, so you can contact me that way. Any type of artist, I can. I like I said, my last video that I just posted a day ago got like 5,000 views. So I know we can get you out there a little bit, just get you started. If anybody has that urge to pursue music, I'm definitely well versed in that. So I'm willing to do that. But Cold Front's out now. BB official music video out now. Cold Front intro music video out now. And Slick Rick video coming soon on Friday. So in a week we got the video for Slick Rick, which that song is under 2 minutes, and yeah, it's between that one and BB, I would say, are my personal favorite tracks. I know, like, it's gonna differ, from person to person what they think. Okay, what's the best track? That's on, But for me, BB was definitely up there. I mean, BB was, I like BB. Cold Front, the intro, I like that too, and I like the music video personally. I like just the coloring, the shot. I thought it's a good take, And then so the new one, Slick Rick. Slick Rick was definitely, when I recorded it, took very, very short to record. It literally was, I think it was the last song that I recorded, and I literally recorded the day before I released it. So it was like the freshest song. No. There was actually another song that I released, or that I no. I actually re-recorded Slick Rick. I forgot that I actually had a different version of the song, and I was like, this beat is just too fire that I just couldn't. I was like, I got to make two versions because I just liked the beat. I just liked it. And it was something I felt like, okay, the first one I didn't do it justice enough, but then the second time I was like, okay, I like this better. It was more kind of just like a freestyle. Those are always, I always like those, because it kind of like, there's so many different parts of the song that you like, and it's not just like, okay, here we go with the hook, and even though the hook can be the best part of the song, but it's like, okay, sometimes we just want to hear just a straight run through, and that's what it was. So Slick Rick, that's coming out, and yeah, up to this point, that's all the things that are developing. Like I said, I kind of gave you guys a backstory of me as an artist, what I went through, and then the releases of all them. I do have an idea for another album. The title, I kind of don't want to put it out there. It actually, I mean, if you look at one of the videos that I have, the name of it actually is on one of them, but you'd have to do some research on it. But yeah, I'm not ready to officially announce any release yet. I was like, I just released 3 mixtapes. Like, what's the reason? Why would I have to? I don't feel I have to now. I think right now I just have enough content to where I'm just ready to rip. I got my bullets loaded and I'm ready to let it go. And in the meantime, I'm gonna keep a cartridge in the stash for something, to get us through this part. And there was a potential artist signing the other day, and we unfortunately weren't able to come to terms. What he was requesting, I mean, he thought he had the leverage, and I was offering him, honestly, it was very reasonable what I was offering him. And if some artists, they think that they're worth more, which I think he's worth it as an artist, but I'm just not able to provide what he's worth. And I didn't see, like, it could have been like, okay, he's just trying to, like, finagle, which I got to keep the business. I got to keep everything legit. I'm a legit guy, and I'm gonna put in everything that I can for the artist that I represent, and I need to make sure that it's like even. And if I can't do that, then I'm not just going to make a deal because I think, he's a good artist, which, I did think, and that's the reason, one of the reasons. And even if he wasn't that great of an artist, I would still want to take the time to help develop that artist. That's what it's about. It's also about artist development. That's a crucial part. I mean, there's, some people, they have it, they have something. You kind of just got to tap into it, and it might take time to develop it. Like not every artist right off, coming right out is, hit maker, or not even like a hit maker, just makes good music. It's like, okay, sometimes you got to find that, and you got to be a talent, a seer, a seeker, which I think I could see it. I think I got the eye for it. I definitely got the ear for it. I can hear it. I can hear him. Like, all right, does he have it? Is it a complete waste of the time? And that's my part of my job too. I got to see, okay, is this, is it a waste of time? Should I tell this person maybe you shouldn't pursue this? But then again, there has been people where, they said that it wasn't worth pursuing, or that, they wish they would have signed them. Like, I remember there was something with Fat Joe, could have signed Eminem. So that was a big miss right there. The potential, and I'm sure he regrets that as well. I mean, but at that point, you kind of just got to move on, take your lick, and continue going. And I'm not going to do everything perfectly, but we're going to do it. Definitely do it the right way, and the best way that we can do it. So up to this point, it's FiguccioStudios. I'm Andrew Figuccio, also referred as Figuccio.Don, aka Figuccio. It could be Figuccio, aka Figuccio.Don. We'll go with that. Figuccio is the main thing, and Figuccio.Don is like a nickname. All right. Well, that's everything. And I appreciate anybody who gets to view this video. And this was a great session. I'm happy, that I got to do this. Thank you. Have a good night.